which
Talking about.
you were then brought to Urithiru, which was largely where you were wanting to go anyways, so it's a bit of a
Not with a group of
superfluous
those.
kidnapping. Pelinar got left behind and saw that old Dalinar was having himself a rough time. Namely, the criers were saying that he was excommunicated from the Vorin Church, and he was also in the midst of what seemed to be returning memories that you guys were privy to. Um, at basically, what was going on was his wife counseled him to be kinder to the rebels of Rathalas, otherwise known as the Rift, and he decided to parley with them. At which point, the Rifters tricked him into a trap where he got crushed by a shit ton of rocks, was severely injured, and then proceeded to 1v like 50, basically, with
And set
Shard
everything on.
Blade and bare hands. He then proceeded to trudge, I guess is the best way to put it, his ass across the entire long ass plains back to the war camp and order the soulcasters to start producing oil. And that is where we left off last time. Now, picking right back up. Still in the vision. Dalinar agreed to change clothing. He washed his face and arms and let a surgeon look at his wounds. The red mist was still there, coloring his vision. He would not sleep. It would not let him. By the way, Lol, you are having this vision as well as Luis at the same time. And those of you who have experienced it, this is very akin to the thrill, and he seems to be entrenched in it. About an hour after he arrived in camp, he trudged back to the command tent, cleaned but not particularly refreshed. The generals.
Right.
Oh, hello.
I'm touching myself tonight.
Thank you, Cam, for texting me.
I don't think I could have done this by myself, so I needed some support.
Well, you arrived just in time for me to be one paragraph into my reading, so. The generals had drawn a new set of battle plans to take these city walls, as instructed by Sadius. Dalinar inspected and made a few changes, but told them to suspend making plans to march down into the city to clear it. He had something else in mind. Bright Lord, a messenger woman said, arriving in the tent. She stepped in. An envoy is leaving the city, flying the flag of truce. Shoot them dead, Dalinar said calmly. Sir? Arrows, woman. Kill anyone who comes out of this city. Leave their bodies to rot. Yes, Bright Lord. The messenger ducked away. Dalinar looked up towards Sadius, who still wore a shard plate, glittering in the sphere light. Sadius nodded in approval, then gestured to the side. He wanted to speak in private. Dalinar left the table. He should hurt more, shouldn't he? Storms, he was so numb he could barely feel anything. Aside from that burning within, simmering deep down. He stepped with Sadius out of his tent. I've been able to stall the scribes, Sadius whispered. As you ordered, Gavilar doesn't know you live. His orders from before were to wait and lay siege. My return supersedes his distant orders. The men will know that. Even Gavilar won't disagree. Yes, but why keep him ignorant of your arrival? The last moon was close to setting, not long until morning. What do you think of my brother, Sadius? He's exactly what we need. Hard enough to lead a war, soft enough to be beloved during peace. He has foresight and wisdom. Do you think he can do what needs to be done here? Sadius fell silent. No, he finally said. No, not now. I wonder if you can. No, not now. I wonder if you can either. This will be more than just death. It will be complete destruction. A lesson, Eleanor whispered. A display. Tantalon's plan was clever, but risky. He knew the chances of winning here depended on upon removing you and your shards from the battle. He narrowed his eyes. You thought those soldiers were mine. You actually believed I would betray Gavilar. I worried. Then know this, Dalinar, Sadeas said, low, his voice like a stone grinding on stone. I would cut out my own heart before betraying Gavilar. I have no interest in being king. It's a job with little praise and even less amusement. I mean for this kingdom to stand for centuries. Good. Honestly, I worried that you would betray him. I almost did once. I stopped myself. Why? Because there has to be someone in this kingdom capable of doing what needs to be done, and it can't be the man sitting on the throne. Continue to hold the scribes back. It would be better if my brother can be reasonably disavowed of what we're about to do. Something will leak soon. Between our two armies, there's too many span reeds. Storming things are getting so cheap, most of the officers can afford to buy a pair to manage their households from a distance. Dalinar strode back to the tent. Sadeas followed. Oathbringer still sat where he'd stuck it into the stones, though an armorer had replaced the gemstone for him. He pulled the blade from the rock. Time to attack. Emiram turned from where he stood with the other generals. Now, Dalinar? At night? The bonfires on the wall will be enough. To take the wall fortifications, yes. But, Bright Lord, I don't relish fighting down those vertical streets at night. Dalinar shared a look with Sadeas. Fortunately, you won't have to. Send the word to the men to prepare the oil and flaming barrels. We march. High Marshal Partham took the orders and began organizing specifics. Dalinar hoisted Oathbringer to his shoulder. Time to bring you home. In under a half an hour, men charged the walls. No shard bearers led this time. Dalinar was too weak. His plate was in shambles. Sadeas never did like exposing himself too early, and Taleb couldn't rush in alone. They did it in a mundane way, sending men to be crushed by stones or impaled by arrows as they carried ladders. They broke through eventually, securing a section of the wall in a furious, bloody fight. Thrill was an unsatisfied lump inside Dalinar, but he was wrung out of it. He was wrung out, worn down. So he continued to wait until finally Taleb and Sadeas joined the fight and routed the last of the defenders, sending them down from the walls towards the chasms of the city itself. I need a squad of elites, Dalinar said softly to a nearby messenger, and my own barrel of oil. Have them meet me inside the walls. Yes, Bright Lord, the young boy said, and then ran off. Dalinar strode across the field, passing fallen men, bloody and dead. They died almost in ranks where waves of arrows had struck. He passed a clumps of corpses in white where the envoy had been slaughtered earlier. Warmed by the rising sun, he passed through the now open gates of the wall and entered a ring of stone that surrounded the rift. Sadeas met him there, faceplate up, cheeks even redder than normal from exertion. They fought like Voidbringers, more vicious than last time, I'd say. They know what's coming for them, Dalinar said, walking towards the cliff edge. He stopped halfway there. We checked for traps this time, Sadeas noted. Dalinar continued forward. The rifters had gotten the better of him twice now. He should have learned the first time. He stopped at the edge of the cliff and looked down at the city built on platforms, raising alongside the widening sides of a rift of stone. It was little wonder they thought so highly of themselves as to resist. Their city was grand, a monument of human ingenuity and grit. Burn it, Dalinar said. Archers gathered with arrows ready to ignite, while other men rolled barrels of oil and pitch to give extra fuel. There are thousands of people in there, sir, Taleb said softly from his side. Tens of thousands. This kingdom must know the price of rebellion. We make a statement today. Obey or die? The same deal I offered you, Taleb, and you were smart enough to take it. And the common people in there? The ones who didn't get a chance to choose a side? Sadeas snorted from nearby. We will prevent more deaths in the future by letting every Bright Lord in this kingdom know the punishment for disobedience. He took a report from an aide and then stepped up to Dalinar. You were right about the scouts who turned traitor. We bribed one to turn on the others, and we will execute the rest. The plan was apparently to separate you from the army and hopefully kill you. Even if you were simply delayed, the Rift was hoping their lies would prompt your army into a reckless attack without you. They weren't counting on your swift arrival, Dalinar said. Or your tenacity, Sadeas said. The soldiers unplugged barrels of oil and began dropping them down, soaking the upper levels of the city. Flaming barrels followed, starting struts and walkways on fire. The very foundations of the city were flammable. Tantalon's soldiers tried to organize and fight back out of the rift, but they surrendered the high ground, expecting Dalinar to do as he did before, conquering and controlling. He watched as the fires spread, flames spread rising in them, seeming larger and more angry than normal. He then walked back, leaving Solemn Taleb to gather his remaining elites. Captain Lord Kadash had 50 for him, along with 2 barrels of oil. Follow, Dalinar said, walking around the rift to the east side, where the fracture was narrow enough to cross a short bridge. Screams below, then cries of pain, calls for mercy. People flooded from buildings, shouting in terror, fleeing on walkways, and stepping towards the basin below. Many buildings burnt, trapping others inside. Dalinar led his squad along the northern rim of the rift until they reached a certain location. His armies waited here to kill any soldiers who tried to break out, but the enemy had concentrated their assault on the other side and then been mostly beaten back. The fires hadn't reached here yet, though Sadeas' archers had killed a dozen civilians who had tried to flee in this direction. For now, the wooden ramp down into the city was clear. Dalinar led a group down one level to a location he remembered so well. The hidden door set into the wall. It was metal now, guarded by a pair of nervous Rifter soldiers. Kadash's men shot them down with short arrows. That annoyed Dalinar. All of this fighting, and he had nothing to feed the thrill. He stepped over one of the corpses, then tried the door, which was no longer hidden. It was locked tight. Tantalon decided to go with security instead of secrets this time. Unfortunately for them, Oathbringer had come. Dalinar easily cut off the steel hinges. He stepped back as the door slammed open onto the walkway, shaking the wood. Light those, he said, pointing to the barrels. Roll them down and burn out anyone hiding inside. The men hurried to obey, and soon the tunnel of rock had fitful black smoke pouring from it. Nobody tried to flee, though he had heard cries of pain inside. Dalinar watched as long as he could, until soon the smoke and heat drove him back. The rift behind him was becoming a pit of darkness and fire. Dalinar retreated up the ramp to the stones above. Archers lit the final walkways and ramps behind him. It would be a long time before people decided to resettle here. High storms were one thing, but there was a more terrible force upon the land, and it carried a shard blade. Those screams. Dalinar passed lines of soldiers who waited along the northern rim in silent horror. Many of them wouldn't have been with Dalinar and Gavilar during the early years of their conquest, when they allowed pillaging and ransacking of cities. And those who did remember, well, he'd often found an excuse to stop things like this before. He drew his lips into a line and then shoved down the thrill. He would not let himself enjoy this. A single sliver of decency he could keep back. Bright Lord, a soldier said, waving to him. Bright Lord, you must see this. Just below the cliff, one tier down into the city, was a beautiful white building, a palace. Further along the walkways, a group of people fought to reach the building. The wooden walkways were on fire and prevented their access. Shocked, Dalinar recognized Tantalon the Younger from their encounter earlier. Trying to get to his home, Dalinar thought. Figures darkened the building's upper windows, a woman and a child. No, he's trying to get to his family. Tantalon hadn't been hiding in the safe room after all. Throw a rope. Bring Tantalon up here, but shoot down the bodyguards. The smoke billowed from out of the rift and was growing thick, lit red by the fires. Dalinar coughed and then stepped back as his men let down a rope to the platform below, a section that wasn't burning. Tantalon had hesitated, but he took it, letting Dalinar's men haul him up. The bodyguards were shot with arrows when they tried to climb the nearby burning ramp. Please, Tantalon said, closing ashen from the smoke. as he was hauled over the stone rim. "My family, please!" Dalinar could hear the screaming below. He whispered an order, and his elites pushed back the regular Kholin troops in the area, opening up a wide half circle against the burning rift, where only Dalinar and his closest men were able to observe the captive. Tanalan slept on the ground. "Please," Dalinar said, "am an animal." "What?" "An animal reacts as it is prodded. You whip it and it becomes savage. With an animal, you can start a tempest. Trouble is, once it's gone feral, you can't just whistle it back to you." "Blackthorn, please, my children." "I made a mistake years ago. I will not be so foolish again." And yet, those screams. Dalinar's soldiers seized Tanalan tightly as Dalinar turned from the man and walked back to the pit of fire. Sadeas had just arrived with a company of his own men, but Dalinar ignored them. Oathbringer still held against his shoulder. Smoke stung Dalinar's nose. His eyes watered. He couldn't see across the rift to the rest of the armies. The air warped with heat, colored red. It was like looking into damnation itself. Dalinar released a long breath, suddenly feeling his exhaustion even more deeply. "It is enough," he said, turning towards Sadeas. "Let the rest of the people of the city escape out through the mouth of the canyon below. We have sent our signal." "What?" Sadeas said, hiking over. "Dalinar?" A loud series of cracks interrupted him as an entire section of the city nearby collapsed into flames. The palace and its occupants crashed down in a tempest of sparks and splintering woods. "No! No!" Tanalan shouted. "Dalinar, I prepared a battalion below with archers, per your orders." "My orders?" "You said kill anyone who comes out of the city and leave their bodies to rot. I had men stationed below. They've launched arrows at the city's stairs, burning walkways leading down. This city burns from both directions, from underneath and above. We can't stop it now." Wood cracked as more sections of the city collapsed. The thrill surged, and Dalinar pushed it away. "We've gone too far." "Nonsense. Our lesson won't mean much if the people can merely walk away." Sadeas glanced towards Tanalan. "Last loose end is this one. We don't want him getting away again." He reached for his sword. "I'll do it," Dalinar said, though the concept of more death was starting to sicken him. He steeled himself. This was the man who had betrayed him. Dalinar stepped closer. To his credit, Tanalan tried to leap to his feet and fight. Several elites shoved the traitor back down to the ground, though Captain Lord Kadash himself was just standing at the side of the city, looking down at the destruction. Dalinar could feel that heat, so terrible, it mirrored a sense within him, the thrill. Incredibly, was not satisfied. Still it thirsted. It didn't seem it ever could be satisfied. Tanalan collapsed, blubbering. "You should not have betrayed me," Dalinar whispered, raising Oathbringer. At least this time you didn't hide in your hole. I don't know who you let take cover there, but know they are dead. I took care of that with barrels of fire." Tanalan blinked and started laughing with a phrase frantic stir. How could you not know? But you killed our messengers, you poor fool, you stupid poor fool. Dalinar seized him by the chin, though the man was still held by his soldiers. "What?" "She came to us to plead. How could you have missed her? Do you track your own family so poorly? The hole you burned, we don't hide in it anymore. Everybody knows about it. Now it's a prison." Ice washed through Dalinar as he grabbed Tanalan by the throat and held, Oathbringer slipping from his fingers. He strangled the man, all while demanding that he retract what he said. Tanalan died with a smile on his lips. Dalinar stepped back, suddenly feeling too weak to stand. Where was the thrill to bolster him? "Go back," he shouted to his elites. "Search that hole. Go!" He trailed off. Kadash was on his knees, looking woozy, a pile of vomit on the rock before him. Some elites ran to try to do as Dalinar said, but they shied away from the rift. The heat rising from the city was incredible. Dalinar roared, standing to push towards the flames. However, the fire was too intense. Where he had once seen himself as an unstoppable force, he had now had to admit how small he was, insignificant and meaningless. Once it's gone feral, you can't just whistle it back to you. He fell to his knees and remained there until his soldiers pulled him up, limp, away from the heat and carried him to camp. 6 hours later, Dalinar stood with hands clasped behind his back, particularly to hide how badly they were shaking, and stared at the body on the table, covered in a white sheet. Behind them, in the tent, some of the scribes whispered, a sound of swishing swords on the practice field. Tleb's wife, Helemi, led the discussion. She thought Evie must have defected. What else could explain why a burned corpse of a high prince's wife had been found in the enemy safe house? It fit the narrative, showing uncharacteristic determination. Evie had drugged the guard protecting her. She'd snuck away in the night. The scribes wondered how long Evie had been a traitor, and if she'd helped recruit a group of scouts who had betrayed Dalinar. He stepped forward, his fingers resting on the smooth, too-white sheet. Fool woman. The scribes didn't know Evie well enough. She hadn't been a traitor. She'd gone to the rift to plead them to surrender. She'd seen in Dalinar's eyes that he wouldn't spare them. So Almighty help her. She'd gone to do what she could. Dalinar barely had the strength to stand. This thrill abandoned him and left him broken and pained. He pulled back to the corner of the sheet. The left side of Evie's face was scorched, nauseating, but the right side had been turned towards the stone, and it was strangely untouched. This is your fault, he thought at her. How dare you do this, stupid, frustrating woman? This was not his fault, not his responsibility. Dalinar, Helemi said, stepping up. You should rest. She didn't betray us, Dalinar said firmly. I'm sure eventually we'll know what she did not betray us. Keep the discovery of her body quiet, Helemi. Tell the people. Tell them my wife was slain by an assassin last night. I'll swear the few elites who know to secrecy. Let everyone think she died a hero, and that the destruction of the city today was done in retribution. Dalinar set his jaw. Earlier today, the soldiers of his army, so carefully trained over the years to resist pillaging and slaughter of civilians, had burnt a city to the ground. It would ease their consciences to think that first the High Lady had been murdered. Helemi smiled at him, a knowing, even self-important smile. His lie would serve a second purpose. As long as Helemi and the head scribes thought they knew a secret, they'd be less likely to dig for the true answer. Not my fault. Rest, Dalinar, Helemi said. You are in pain now, but as a high storm must pass, all mortal agonies will fade. Dalinar left the corpse to the ministrations of others. As he departed, he strangely heard the screaming of those people in the rift. He stopped, wondering what it was. Nobody else seemed to note it. Yes, that was a distant screaming, in his head, maybe. They all seemed children to his ears, the ones he abandoned to flames, a chorus of innocents pleading for help, for mercy. Evie's voice joined them. And with that, Pelinar, you are not here. Okay.
We literally got up like 2 seconds ago. I think you went to grab like a water or pee real quick. Like literally, he's like, I might have a few seconds. I could probably knock this out.
Good. Well, while he does that, I'm gonna go get a water myself.
It doesn't really get much better than that.
It's perfectly timed.
He's like, I swear I just saw him right there.
He literally just got up. I watched him get up, and then like 2 seconds later, Trace ended his speech, and I was like, oh, that's timing. I have about 7 minutes before I got a dip.
Oh no.
Yeah, I do apologize that I was not here on time. I literally forgot what day it is.
Trust me,
Right.
you're not the only one.
It's been a rough work week.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Speaking of December always is.
that's the reason why Dalinar visited the Night Watch.
Huh?
That's the reason he's in that specific sect that he's in.
The what?
The Night Mother. That's the reason why he visited the Night Mother.
Oh,
Couldn't remember anything about her.
we're like bros then, I guess.
Yeah. You killed your wife and tens of thousands of civilians too?
No.
No.
That's his PP. Okay, that's his personal problem.
I mean, I've
Okay.
gotten tens of thousands of civilians killed, but it was for the sake of my army, right? That's whatever.
Yeah.
I just had lots of money and I didn't have to kill nobody for it.
Not yet.
There we go.
All right, he's just asking for it. Okay, we're gonna call him Mr. Four Fingers before the day's end. Okay.
Oh god. But yeah, anyways, Lift, you just had a weird fucking vision with, as you call him, Senior Tight Pants.
Oh,
Lift, at one point
Yeah.
you invaded one of Dalinar's visions and called him,
did you say something about how he has too good of a butt?
it's too
She
too
did, right?
yeah, too
Okay.
firm.
like, I don't
I
trust this
love
man.
that that's what stays in your brain.
Of course.
Now you're always looking at his tight ass.
Yeah, for an old guy, let me tell you, it's firm.
Straight up, it was an excerpt in a book. She was like, I don't trust you. You have too firm of a butt.
But yeah, so Garrick, Varix, and Lift, you guys just like fucking teleported here, got hit by a massive fucking terrible vision. and
welcome to your new home and your new life.
I don't like this. I want to go.
None of us do, and we all want to go back. I was a slave before this, and honestly, it's starting to look like paradise. I mean, you
That
can't
was-
say no. You're already here.
It's true. You're a part of the group, one of us.
Also, having a sprint means you were going to end up here one way or another. We've really just expedited the process.
And don't go calling it kidnapping because that's not what happened.
No, it is exactly what happened. We kidnapped this child.
Yeah.
We
It's called
forcibly
friend
brought her
napping.
with us. Yeah, friend napping.
See, you can call it what you will. What I call it is a strategical capturing of an advantage.
For someone who doesn't read.
This is how I get all my friends. So
Fancy words.
You don't know that I can't read.
You're a man.
Fuck you.
It all comes full circle.
It really does. It always comes right back to it.
that wasn't
Shit.
very nice.
Anyways,
It is true though.
I mean, at that point, we just kind of show Lift around the amenities, show them where we can recharge Stormlight, and we teach them about Stormlight.
I want to go up to the highest point possible, and I'd like to slip and slide my way down the stairs
Fuck it, I'm okay with that.
Okay. Speaking of
as
which,
fast as possible.
Garrett,
Maybe
as
be careful with
you come up here for the first real time, you're like, oh shit, this is where my fucking vision was happening, yo.
This feels like a holy place. I probably shouldn't desecrate it. On that note, I'd like to slip and slide down.
Oh yeah. No, you just go.
No desperation in that. You're cleaning it.
You guys will watch as Lift suddenly gets down on her knees and then like pushes herself forward like a toboggan.
It's like a little seal.
She realized she have to climb all the way back up all these stairs again.
I'll use anytime that I go on a sharp turn, I'll use Wendell to pull some vines so I can like
Turn.
what's it called? Bobsled down.
Yeah. you just
I've done this as an actual child as well. It didn't end as well.
you guys will watch as like at first it's a bit slow and pixel speed.
Did you know how to stop?
This is so much fun.
Roll a dex saving throw as you get to the end.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
First
dude.
nat one of the night. Let's go.
Let's go. I think Dalinar got a nat 1 on his perception check.
Hey.
Hey, okay. You get towards the end and manage to do like the snow spray like skis where
Yeah.
you turn sideways and just start You see a few kids around you. Whoa! And I start clapping.
I'll do a bow.
I look at
Thank you.
Varix. We have other children here?
Fucking city. Yeah.
God.
It was an abandoned city before we got here. How the fuck did they populate so quick?
Are these also children that you guys have kidnapped?
No.
They're
That's
like
why
rabbits.
I'm confused with everyone else here.
I'd like to roll for insight.
Okay.
I don't just
Natural one. Natural one.
Okay, well, that's a
I'm
2 plus.
suspicious of this man. I don't quite believe him, but he probably has good
It's-
intentions.
It's a lot of children to kidnap, but you don't know how many he could have.
I'm just gonna give you the side eye.
We're not putting Garrick in that group.
Well, you do hand out candy. Speaking of candy, can I have some? Holds out hands for the crabs that are in your pocket.
Grab people. Grab
I give.
people.
Talk like people, look like crab.
Kiss like people. Smoke like crab.
Damn, I was close.
You were. All right, I got to dip because I got to get to work
Yes.
in 10 minutes, and it's going to take me about 8 minutes to drive there.
Bye, friend.
I miss you
will see
already.
tomorrow. To turn the computer off. You know how to do that? You know how to turn the computer off? You literally just hit
yeah,
this button and then
yeah.
turn off.
Cool, cool.
We
We'll
can
try
we can
not
walk
to.
her. We can walk her through it.
It's like I've got people here that can walk you through it. It will take you no time. Just don't download random shit on my computer yet. Not without my consent. At least. I need to
No
know
10 terabytes worth of porn.
No,
Alright, so
that's on
get-
a flash drive.
Go to limewire.com
Yeah.
and
God, dude, that's something I haven't heard in a long time.
Delete System 32.
What's this Trojan virus I see?
I like the condom. That means it's super safe.
Yeah.
Maximum protection.
Maximum protection.
Don't forget to download Norton.
Yeah. Oh god.
Or
Did I tell
McAfee.
you that I did that once, Trace?
No.
Yeah, I downloaded Norton.
You fool.
Fresh scrubbed the computer after. Worth it.
Yep.
I
So
thought that was an antivirus website.
yeah, it's worse than a virus. It's great.
Why?
Okay, Norton once upon a zillion years ago was okay,
Yeah, it's just bloatware. It installs a bunch of bullshit.
but then it just did this.
yeah.
It didn't do
Wow.
this. It just
Yeah.
Yeah,
The link.
The issue became that Windows Defender was so
Now our
good
tools
that
are-
antivirus was no longer necessary
exactly.
in any way,
I was
shape, or
like,
form.
Windows
So
takes
the
care of
only
everything for you.
yeah, so the only
Norton-
recourse they
so
had
here's
was
the
to turn
thing.
into viruses.
Here's the thing. I definitely didn't get a virus from that Norton. I did make sure to scrub the computer after the fact just to be safe, but I didn't get a virus from it. But at that point, it's just a waste of money because, again, I already
Yeah.
have Windows Protector. There's no
It's
point.
the one thing that pisses me off about Gigabyte is it like always asks me to download Norton, and I'm like, why?
Yeah.
I'm like,
I
why?
hate it. I get why, because Norton is the actual Norton is an actual thing. There's no point in it anymore. It's
Yeah.
pointless. Okay. Love you. I will see you tomorrow. Phone, Molly, keys, babe.
Do I have to go shut the garage door?
No, I
want to
can do
get
it.
back up.
I got it.
It's cold.
So, lol, Louise,
See you, friends. I'll be
You
on the
wanna-
stream here in a few.
Bye.
Yep.
pull another card.
Okay, bye. Love you, Missy. Bye.
And where are we at again?
Let me show you.
It's happiness.
Oh, are we still on the ship? Oh, we got off the ship.
No, Calvin used his wish to teleport your ass away.
Oh,
You
yeah,
are
that's
currently
right.
in a clearing.
We're at the gate,
one?
right?
Yeah, so the Oath Gate is way over there. There's a fuck ton of fused and random ass enemies just chilling around, including like this big red misty cloud that seems to be hanging over nearly the entire thing, but it's really centralized on the platform itself.
This one. Who is this? Why are they a dandelion?
That's Pattern. That's Shalon's Sprin. It's the same type of Sprin as Evan has.
It looks like
That's
a
so
dandelion.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
I would
That's
grant you
kinda-
so many wishes.
I want to go to that
That's
place so I
kinda
could see my spring. I bet he's so cool looking.
You don't want to go here, trust me.
Is that
Fucking
silk?
sucks.
Yeah, still over there. And then this one down here. Again, we're not supposed to know her name, but her name's Maya. That's Adelin's sword.
Uh-huh.
A oh god, I forgot what the actual term for it is, but dead sprint. They're only around because their sword still exists.
Huh.
You said
Alright,
Desperin?
Well,
They're
and
just
how many
dead.
cards have we drawn
Oh.
again?
Last time, let's see. I think what 4-ish, right?
Mm,
Because somebody got the necklace. I think you got the necklace. Did you get
Yep.
your tall shit? You got your tall shit again.
Yeah, I
you're
got
like,
my tall shit again, so I'm super tall.
yeah.
Wait, hang on. So if I'm super tall and lanky, would that increase my reach for trying to swing through enemies?
Sure. I mean, it was already massive, but yeah, you get say an extra 3 feet, 2 feet.
Right, we've created the X-Men in the last few sessions.
Yes,
Wait, what
Nightcrawler.
did I get from our last round?
That's
I
a
got
question.
some. I think I got something shitty,
Oh
or
yeah.
just like something blah.
I'm
Didn't you
just, yeah,
gain like 2 inches or
No.
something? No.
Evan gained fucking 2 feet or 3 feet.
Yeah, I'm 2 feet taller than I used to be.
Let's see. Lol, you had a 15.
And you thought it looked small on me before.
Let me see here. Oh, I think you got a con boost. Is that right? Do you have a con modifier?
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah.
That's right. It wasn't blah. It was the con boost. That's right.
Cool. But yeah, so that's what you guys see. Meanwhile, back in Izmir, Pelinar, you are currently looking at Dalinar having a full-blown panic attack in the Oath Gate as you just come out of the vision, seeing exactly what he did to Rathalas 11 years ago. And you see him literally dragging. It's like the mist, the humidity in the air is coalescing into something that's a facsimile of a shard blade as he pushes it into the Oath Gate. As you could tell, the Stormfather is not super happy about this. He is not supposed to be turned into a shard blade in any propensity, but he does, turning it back to Uruthiru before promptly hitting the deck completely passed out.
Oh shit.
Also, again, was like 5 minutes prior excommunicated from the Voron Church and told that Kolinar had fallen.
Okay. So I'm gonna run over and pick his ass up
Yeah.
and take him to the closest medic of any kind.
Yeah. You step out onto the platform and the guards will rush up and start assisting you as they take him up to Navani, and they begin to arrange treatment. At the bottom of the stairs, after you get done with that, you see suddenly this small person just and slide down on their knees before stopping for a few kids who then cheer wildly. As you see shortly thereafter, Garrick and Varix walk down the stairs behind her.
How'd you guys get back here?
You know, maybe I should let the grown-ups talk. Yeah, that sounds smart. I'm gonna go back up and do it round 2.
You may have forgot you with the bracelet, sorry.
Alrighty, you will see Lift run her merry ass all the way back up the stairs. And about 5 minutes later, you hear. Neither deck safe, please.
It's
I
so
swear
bright.
I swear she's gonna be helpful.
Okay. A little bit less graceful than last time, but chilling.
A couple sharp edges.
Yeah.
Maybe done one of those like wall skids on the face.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's at this point that you'll see a familiar, no longer one-armed individual walking up to you. Oh, what's going on, Goncho? As you see the Lopen with both arms looking down at you. I see we got another move there. As he looks down at Lift.
Did you
Yeah.
get taller?
No. My dick just got longer.
Whoa.
You sure you're not taller?
Pretty sure.
All right.
I'm taller this way now.
Oh, yeah, no, I got a great wingspan, let me tell you.
Is
Yeah,
this
yeah,
a
good
run?
wingspan. What is different about you? I don't know.
I think it's probably the same thing that's new about you, except for your eyes are a bit darker than my arm.
I was about to say, is this a running theme? Do people in this particular group just lose their limbs at random? I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty attached to mine.
Well, it wasn't random. See, yes, I unfortunately lost this one in a significant accident back in the home days involving a princess. It was glorious.
Did you marry her?
No.
Oh. Sad. Okay. I'm sure
Anyways.
there was some sort of adventure there. Trying to think of princesses in that realm.
Good to see y'all. A lot of things have been going on. Old Amaram took over Sadius's whole army, which is right kicking the balls. Glad Kaladin isn't here to see it. They were getting a bit up in their britches, so Dalinar sent them off to Thaylen City to assist in rebuilding / clearing out the field that was completely destroyed. Monarchs are here. Azir on our side. Very good. Thaylen on our side. Very good. Yakaved on our side. Very good.
Only
and
good news then. It sounds like.
Dalinar's not in good shape.
Oh, that's not good, Goncho. Tell you what, I have a cousin who has just the perfect meal for that. Warm him right back up. Oh wait, no, he's out of town. Where the fuck did you go, Huyo? As you see him just like randomly start to wander off.
Sorry. Gosh,
yeah.
I can't figure out what's different about that guy. Anyway,
Did he have
Dalinar.
both arms when you met him last?
No, he only has one arm.
He was born that way?
No, he lost it. He just said how he lost his arm.
Yeah,
To be fair, now he does have the arm back. But
but we're dumb.
I know.
yes, I know.
I don't have the brain cell right now.
No,
either.
I know.
I have not met half the people here. That was a lot of political names I know shit about.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
just
you want to
not
come meet one? He's kind of
like I would
unconscious
be-
in bad shape, but we should probably go check in on Dalinar.
Yeah.
You guys didn't see it, but he just tried to turn the Stormfather into a Shardblade and then passed out, and we shared a vision, and I'm more fucked up now than ever.
Is that the same vision we had?
You had one too? What was
Oh, yeah.
yours? Did you see Dalinar doing questionable things to a lot of people?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like that's how you could summarize most of the Dalinar visions.
We've been fucked up since day one, dog.
God, I want to make a TikTok so bad of our campaign with a song I know. Oh my god, it's.
Well, fucking do it, dude.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will.
You can clip all my stuff.
Not that kind of TikTok.
Not that guy, pal. But yeah, no, you guys eventually make your way up towards Dalinar's room. See some Bridge 4 there. Notably missing Teft. And as you go in, you're like, damn, Dalinar is super passed out. Like possibly coma passed out. Like, what the fuck's going on?
And what did you say? He was trying to make the Stormfather into a Shardblade?
Shardblade?
He did that in the
as-
time that we left?
Yeah. He saw what we saw, I think, and well, obviously he did it, so I don't think he's feeling too jazzed about it right now. He kind of collapsed and made a sound I'd never thought I'd hear Dalinar make. And now, hopefully, he's okay.
Oh.
I mean, there are medics. I'm sure they're probably doing the best they can. This is
Oh, yeah.
probably something.
I mean, to be fair, he's probably got one of the best on this planet.
Yeah. Maybe he has to have some one-on-one talk with his friend.
Yeah, which is good because my healthcare provider just got shot, so he's in good shape.
Shot with the crossbow. Weirdly enough, nobody was all that concerned.
I mean, I was cheering for it, but you know,
It's a real bitch. Now I have to find a new one.
they're all terrible, but that one, oof.
Topical D&D jokes for you guys. Anyways,
So I hope he's not with them.
in any case, so Dalinar currently out of commission. Not much you can do there. You see a couple of the Bridge 4 guys around, and that's about it. Like I said, Teft missing at the moment. Don't know what the fuck's going on there.
And we still don't know where Luis, Lowell, and those guys
Yeah,
are.
presumed dead by the vast majority of people, but you guys are Bridge 4 and have seen Kaladin come out of many a terrible situation, so you're kind of like,
Do not.
I've seen all of Bridge 4 come out of some crazy
Yeah.
situations.
how did three of you fuckers come out from a goddamn chasm in the middle of a high storm?
It's the McGonagall meme. It's always you three.
Yes.
Oh,
So anyways, what are we doing?
Shit. Weird time to have nothing to do.
Yeah.
I think that something would be very beneficial to the person who knows absolutely nothing of what's going on here. Maybe we could have a sit down and talk about what's
Drinks,
going
that's a
on.
great idea.
And maybe names to faces, because I don't know who Teft is or I
And drinks,
know
right?
your guys' names, but you're throwing around a bunch of other ones. I don't know those ones either. If I have
Alright,
to be there, I might as well familiarize myself.
Where's a pub?
How seedy are you trying to go with this one?
Not too seedy. She's a child.
Okay, investigation.
You know, somewhere with
How
the
old
kids
are you?
menu.
How old are you?
26.
I'm old.
Yeah, like what, 40?
It's pretty close.
IRL?
IRL.
I'm joking.
IRL.
You're probably only like 35. You're fine. That's also a joke. Late.
Excuse me while I go get my wobbly stool and sturdy rope. I'm gonna go borrow that from Evan.
No, you don't need that. You just need to get yourself a
Don't
walker,
forget the
old man.
load-bearing ceiling fan.
No. See, what you have to do is you have to take a bath with Mr. Toaster.
Ah, he's so
your best
nice.
friend.
Yeah, bro, live, laugh, Ooster bath.
Yeah. All right, Pelinar, you managed to find yourself a decent wine bar. Adolin would be proud as you, sit down.
It's gonna be one of those. You guys have drinks? Yeah. All right, found one. Let's go.
Yeah, it's just first place.
Wait. Do you have a kids menu? Maybe one with a little toy.
Archie.
Just make sure we have a lot of snacks. We just need a lot of snacks.
You guys sit down. You get yourself.
Those, just so you know, it's a cool fact.
You guys hear that? That's important.
Wait, what?
I can
I'm
gain
breeding.
Stormlight from consuming food. It's a fun fact. Why
Good
do
thing
you
I
think
just
that
opened my notes and that's why I was distracted.
I'm aware. The moment I clicked with me who you were playing as, I was like, oh. Like, wait a second.
But yeah, you guys get yourself a keeping thing of food and some various levels of alcoholic drinks as you chill the fuck out for the first time in what seems like a long time.
Barkeep, could you chop up a bunch of little pieces of chicken breast, batter them in bread, and put them in oil, hot oil, for the child?
Where the fuck do you think I'm gonna find a chicken around here?
Oh my god. Yeah,
You know how hard it is to find chickens.
You're a restaurateur.
I got chol meat.
I mean, do it with chill meat. It might taste good. I don't know.
Fine. They
All
come
right.
back later with some fried
That's
chol
like,
meat.
you're probably fine. You have to ruin
I've
everything.
effectively invented.
Chicken fried steak.
I was
Now
gonna
we just
say
got
shrimp
we have to make
poppers.
them into the little shapes of our spren. So
Mhm.
they're spren nuggets. That would actually be pretty cute. Not gonna lie.
You got a franchise there.
I know.
Yeah. In any case, you guys, you sit down. You are fed, drank, lift. You gain 4 Stormlight levels off
Holy
of
Nice.
off your shit that just is gonna stick with you until used for now.
Yeet.
All right, Lift. Since you got us here now, what would
Oh,
you
I
like to?
am here. Okay.
There's a lot you don't know. There's a lot you probably need to know. A lot we're probably not gonna be able to tell you.
Well, let's start with the basics.
My name's Varix.
I already know that part. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm Pellinir.
I knew that part too. The one with the crabs is Garrett.
is that your cat
So-
right there? That is your cat.
Yeah, he's being a little shit. Seriously, the second Marsh leaves, he's just like, free reign. Mother's never gonna tell me no.
That's awesome.
It's not.
All right, start with the basics. I was a traitor. And I got fucked over by my best friend. He stole all my money.
Did he kill him?
I got thrown into slavery before I was able to do anything.
Ah.
And we got to Bridge 4. And yeah, that's kind of the start. That's how we met.
We were slaves.
Yes.
Hmm.
And then we met this really cool guy, and he talked to Thunder, and then we got to run away from arrows, and then we started working for that other cool guy, and we got these cool blue jackets.
And
That
now
pretty
you're
much
part of the
sums it up.
military force, right?
But yeah, but look at these cool swords we
elite-
got.
elite police group.
Shing.
Oh yeah,
You
my
know-
cool sword. Swing.
I don't know if Wendell can turn into a sword form. Can Wendell turn into a sword form?
Swing.
Yeah,
Swing.
He just
Probably
doesn't.
a full
Swing.
dagger.
He just doesn't like being sharp.
Yeah, that's fair.
Wow. Like, or yeah.
My
So
swing.
My Sprin's
could
name
turn.
is Appy. And he
Oh,
chills
that's
on this
cute.
rock that I have that I put
Not
on my
match his
shoulder.
voice whatsoever.
What?
Like at all. Does not match his voice.
Hey, I'm
Yeah.
a very happy person.
I'm sure you are.
He is. He was even not that mad at me when I threw him off a cliff.
You what?
He wasn't that mad at me when I threw him off a cliff. He's a great guy.
Wait. So you got fucked over by your best friend and decided your new best friend you should throw off a cliff?
It was for an important moment in time. Okay, Garrick, who,
Uh-huh.
if you could see, his foot was missing forever, or leg. I had to try and
Dude,
save
there's a lot
him,
of limbs.
and Pellinnar was on fire.
Uh-huh.
There was red glowy eyes in this statue that was really far away from me. So I threw my spear, and I missed. Really
As he does.
bad. Like,
Is that
the
a
statue might have been
consistency?
here, and I might have thrown it over here. But that's besides the point.
But you're the one who has both eyes, so maybe you should work on your aim. Just a thought. I could teach you.
The child might be onto something.
Kind of hurt my feelings.
I like you. I think we're gonna be friends.
I agree.
All right.
As I pull out one of my eyebrows.
Oh.
Not like pull
Hi.
it out, but like twirl it.
Just because they don't pull out your hair.
Just
That's just so painful.
No, not like not like that. No,
I'm just like, okay.
because it's long, right? So I gotta like kind of lift it up and pull. You know.
Yeah.
People in
It's like
different
that-
areas of the region might have different symbolism of friendship, I suppose.
We friend
can all
napped
come
you,
out.
okay? You can't tell us what friendship is.
Fair. All right. So now you're all part of this elites group which, as far as I remember, is in fact called the Order of the Knights Radiance, correct?
I think so. I don't know.
How did you know this much?
I mean, because I also have
Where
fairly
did she
weird
hear that? I didn't hear that.
You know, in the inside voice. Up here.
The Knights Radiant. That's what we're called. I remember.
Yeah. You know how you can flashbacks to,
Oh.
like
Because our
really
swords
old-
light.
Particles.
This is
really
crazy.
old kind of mystical beings who were in a different realm kind of thing, and then there's like the
Oh,
forge
it's gone. Thoughts are gone. Thoughts are gone.
No.
It was lost in the exact same moment that you guys are like, how could we help the situation?
I'm just gonna start drinking and like turn.
It's at this
If
point
we
that
had like a deck of cards. Many of them, in fact.
This is...
a mysterious deck of cards appears on the table with
Oh
a
my
tiny little
God.
sign that only Lift can read that says "fuck you."
Wow.
This is great. And I'm gonna snag that. I'm gonna look at it.
Okay.
Be like, Jake
at the bottom,
or Pelinar, how'd you do that?
at the bottom it says from Hoyd.
Can you read this, Lift, real quick? What is this? What is this? Por favor.
Let me just real quick.
I will not give away the cards.
I was gonna lie about what it said.
Oh, well, I feel like you're lying to me.
Whatever it is, I don't believe you.
The sweat drops. It says that we're doing a very good job and we should keep at it.
Well, let's see. Do I notice?
Who does it say who it's from?
Let's see. Oh, I out insided you. Okay, you're lying.
No, I wouldn't do that. Absolutely not. No, I'm pretty hungry.
I can tell by the wrinkles on your forehead. You're starting to sweat. All right, whatever. Pelinar, how'd you get these cards to show up here?
I didn't do anything.
You said it.
I just said it'd be cool if there was a deck of cards here. Many of them, in fact.
Well, there's notes
That's
that we
it.
can't read. Lift's lying. You get to pick the first one.
Okay.
My turn.
D24, D23.
You guys are actually pulling them right now?
Uh-huh.
Did you not see what happened earlier?
Nay, that we weren't there.
Yes.
Did we? No. Did
No.
I? Yeah.
Oh wow.
Natty 23.
Jesus.
All right, roll 1d24 and 1d23.
No, just
No.
just the D24 for you.
I do the
I think it's got a
D23.
migraine from stupidity. Oh my god.
Yeah, the both dumbest people in the group are standing next to you right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Nope.
Oof.
And we're in a bar. Awesome.
Yeah. And then we got Garrick. We out here being stupid, baby. Thanks for the sub. 33 months. Ooh, 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 ooh.
Okay.
Just add one to that. Just add one.
Congratulations. Oh, actually. This is so dumb. Okay. Oh no, I'm way the fuck down there. What the fuck? Okay.
He's making me nervous.
Uh-huh. Super nervous. Oh god, don't
Okay.
cover your eyeball either. Don't even touch your face.
This is so stupid.
Oh, I can handle that. That fits us.
That's true, it does.
It is. I need to find a better fucking deck. Jesus. No, for some reason it was only showing me half the fucking effects, which was annoying me.
I mean, that is annoying.
Yes.
Cheers.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Cheers. No. Cheers. No. Cheers.
Pelinar, start out with, you feel like, damn, you don't know where or why, but somebody really fucking hates you now. Like,
Pelinar?
they wish for your death, homie.
What did I do to them?
What do you mean? What
Aw.
did you do to them?
Someone hates me.
Probably. There's a lot of people out there.
You're not helping.
There's a lot. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Just draw a card.
I did.
No.
Look it.
I can't read that.
Read that.
Something wrong with your fingers?
Yeah, it's broken
Oh, why'd you do that?
right now, just so I could flip you off.
Why would you do that?
Because it's funny. But why?
Are you okay?
I think so. I start shaking with the card in my hand.
God damn it, this actually fucking...
Garrick would also like to pull a card.
Would he?
Of course you would.
That's what he said in the chat.
Okay, fuck
Did
it.
he actually?
He would indeed. Yes, it says right there. He would indeed.
All right. Somebody, I guess. Jade,
It's
go
in
ahead
the Twitch chat.
Twitch chat, yeah. Jade, go ahead. Roll, I guess it's just a straight up D20.
On marshes, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Wherever. It doesn't-
I mean,
doesn't matter.
realistically, it won't matter.
Where are you hiding? Nope, that's Garrick, not Eric's.
Did it roll?
That's the question.
It did not.
There it goes.
I didn't see it, but what you can tell me what it
He
was.
got
Oh.
a 9.
Yep,
9.
I see it. 9.
9. Okay.
Oh yeah, he just texted me. He said yes, he does want to.
That's see. There you go. I wasn't lying.
Look at that.
It's just like, where is this at?
The Twitch chat. A mighty 9. 9.
Act 9, he's eating the fraud.
Need to keep watching that. I stopped at episode 10. I haven't watched anymore. The mighty 9.
Glorious. Ferrix,
Don't
you
laugh
suddenly
at me.
have you have a very white beard, you know. Rest of your hair
Distinguished.
dark.
Yeah,
The rest of your hair
distinguished.
dark, minus the eyebrows. All of a
Distinguished.
sudden, lift, Pelinar. You'll see just this glorious, twisting black mustache show up right on his face.
Mustache.
And you just can't help but compliment it.
Wow.
You now have the item Find Mustache in your
Yeah.
inventory.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Let's fucking go.
That's awesome.
Compliment me, Pelinar.
That's, I mean, I'm pretty proud of my beard, but that's some pretty damn good facial hair, my friend.
Whoa.
That is so beautiful. It looks like a squirrel crawled on your face. It is gorgeous.
Whoa.
What's the
What's
squirrel?
a squirrel?
Fuck, you're right. Small rodent
What's a
with
rodent?
crab-like shell.
A Super Saiyan mustache is what Garrick said. That's right. Hell yeah. I need to get some wax. I'll just start doing that with my actual mustache. I'll just start
Yeah, nice.
twirling it.
Yeah.
There's a guy that comes in the shop that does that. I should totally ask him how he does that.
Oh my god.
How much health does it
Wax.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. No. Okay.
I'm doing
You
it.
guys are you guys are going to see just a massive fuck off avatar of death appear before Garrick, and then he pulls out his shard blade and within like 3 turns kills it because that's avatar of death is surprisingly low statted for a fucking Knight's Radiant.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Garrick just killed Death.
He goes, oh
Nazareth.
no. Oh, cool. Thanks, Stormlord.
Unfortunately, the scaling damage is a bit too much for half of Garrick's HP on a creature.
Praise be the cube.
Yeah, praise be unto the cube and all his many blessings.
Thank you, Wolf, for bringing that so many years later.
Yes. Oh, Lord. Anyways, yeah, so Lift, after this strange display, you will see the deck before you. You may take it,
No.
but you're getting the feeling that sucker's going away here very, very shortly.
I am going to pass. No, thank you.
We'll give it back to the bartender.
You see
I
it
wanted to
disappear
grab
into
one
smoke.
more.
Well, let you roll a dex check there, Mr. Pellinar.
See if you catch it.
Let's see.
Next campaign, Cleric of the Cube.
Cleric of the cube. I am a slime.
Can we just make a cult? Like,
Oh.
No. You're literally grasping at smoke. Lift. Wendell will look over and he's like, let's see, mistress. I think that one must be a wind runner
Candy bar.
based on his straightforward and simple personality. And the other one, Stone Shaper, Stone Lord, Stone
Which one?
something. Varix is the one.
wait, what?
Arch.
Stone Lord. Right, that's
Stop.
I'm being dumb. I also have a fucking flu. Yeah, Stone Lord. Yeah, so basically he just looks over, points the two of
Please.
them out.
Please,
Hey.
Archie. No, don't cry. Don't
Uh,
cry. I love you.
Roll perception checks.
All of us.
Sure.
Dude, I'm so perceptive.
Super perceptive. Go.
Yup.
Yup.
See everything. Oh my
Hey,
god.
Oh.
Natty 20.
Damn.
Oh my
Jesus.
20.
Me too,
I'm very
Jake.
perceptive.
Lift.
yeah.
You're kind of just looking off into the distance. You're like,
I'm
"Oh, neat."
distracted by the
Yeah,
fuzzy
you're-
piece of lunch that just flew in the bar.
Yeah, and you're.
We just have immediate focus of drunk focus. We're just like,
You guys are. You see Lift playing with her chicky nuggies or her
cute.
chill nuggies. And each of you will look out at the alleyway just across from you and see a slumped over figure. And there's this slight rolling ash and smoke that's coming off of their fingertips. As you notice the collapsed form of Teft not too far away.
Teft. Shit. I'm just not even going to say nothing. We're just going to start running.
What? Who?
Come. Actually, I'm just going to pick her up.
But my chicken.
You take the
But
plate
no.
as you leave.
Yeah, I'll take the plate too. Yeah, I was like, I'll take the snacks with her so that she can still eat and I'll just be holding it next to her mouth
All right, fair enough.
Hark.
as we're mobbing.
You
Bounce
got
one up so that she can catch it.
goofy stepdads now.
Yeah.
I like
We're
eating
just
on the
gonna have to
run.
get stepped up,
It's more
damn it.
exciting.
We're eating on the go today.
It's 3 men and a baby, but we're ripped.
She's 26.
Uh, it's just JoJo, but with Charmy.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Anyways.
Just your vacuum noises.
Yeah, as you guys go into the alleyway, you'll see the slumped figure of Teft, completely missing his Bridge 4 uniform, as Fire Moss is in between his fingers, and he seems high off his ass on what has to be a long bender.
There you go. I typed what Garrick said.
Looks happy. Teft, how you doing?
As you see him, just roll an insight check. All y'all motherfuckers.
Oh, okay.
Who is this man?
I guess
Who
I'll
is
put you down. This is our friend that was missing, Teft.
I was gonna say, did you explain who this was?
No, you just heard the name, I think.
Okay, and he's not wearing a uniform, right?
Not at the
So it just kind of looks like a casual
This is Teft,
is
the
in,
one
like,
that was missing.
person.
his undershirt, basically.
I see.
Yeah, Pelinar. That's a man who's seen Kaladin and other slaves and yourself have some mental issues. Teft is having a real rough time right now.
Hey, buddy. Let's put my arm around him. You okay? How you doing?
Did it again.
Did what again, champ?
Fucking betrayed everyone. As you see him just start to kind of roll back into his
I'll kind of
safe
pick him up.
fog. As you pick him up and you start going away, you'll hear him kind of mumble, "I've sold it. Sold my uniform."
What do you mean you
Just
sold your
like-
uniform?
Why'd you sell your uniform?
More money. Couldn't go back to Rock.
I think we need to get you some help. Start going back towards the medical area.
Okay. You take him back to Bridge 4, and everybody kind of huddles around, and you see Rock step out. I will take care of this one.
It's like, Rock, this is
Yes.
serious, man.
Yeah. He needs to go back through withdrawals again. We will watch out for him. As you
All
see
right.
him in his big form pick up the old man.
Got this.
But yeah, so Teft returned after his apparent long-term bender. Pelinar, you're the only one who really has seen this extensively, but yeah,
Garrick
a
asked
lot
if he
of-
could heal him.
Sure. Yeah. Any physical elements immediately heal, and he definitely seems a lot sharper. As many of the effects of the drug itself boil away, but it seems like the actual mental aspect, unfortunately, is not going away anytime soon. But
He says, heck yeah.
Heck yeah. Pelinar and Garrick are both ones who know this. Soldiers, a lot of the time in military, often turn to fire moss. It's the best real life equivalent to it is kind of a heroin-ish, somewhere between heroin and weed, where it's kind of more calming, not so much a pleasurable effect, but it's about as addictive as heroin.
Whew.
God damn.
Yeah, so he's going through it again, and you are aware. It was told to you a long time ago, but he was part of a group called the Invisagers. His parents were, and they thought that they could bring back the Knights Radiant through putting people into extreme situations. So the group of that cult put themselves through shit situation after shit situation and ended up killing a lot of their own members trying to pull back the Knights Radiant. This came to a head when Teft told the police, or the guard rather, about his parents and what they did. And the police, instead of taking the people who were borderline suicidal and putting them into better situations, ended up executing them. Because that makes sense. And yeah, poor Teft not doing great.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, so you guys see this situation. You end up finding your way back to your rooms. You sleep for a couple days. Delinar eventually wakes up. You're like, oh my god, great. But he's missing.
Whoa, what the fuck?
What?
And then you find him
Okay.
Okay.
on a big ass bender, drinking like a motherfucker.
Going around.
God, we can't win.
All right,
Garrick,
how
we
fucked
need
up is
you.
he?
Garrick.
As you guys will find him, and sometimes other people find him, and the coalition of monarchs is having meetings without him as he is just going about after bender after bender. You guys get visions of his past immediately after he killed his wife for the next few years after that, where this was exactly what he was like. He was drinking, and he would drink so much that he forgot that he emptied his secret stash from the week before. And he would sneak into the beggar's meal, and he'd drink with this one crazy fucker in the beggar's meal again
Oh my
and again
God.
and again.
Oh no.
And this went on for years and years and years until you see it culminate in a feast at the signing of a treaty
Oh shit.
where instead of being alert, as his brother had asked him to, and following the codes on that night, he kept hearing the sound of thousands of voices burning below him. So he turned to the bottle to make it disappear, and was so blacked out drunk by the end of the night that he was not there to defend his brother from the assassin in white.
Eesh.
Oh, and that's the very first thing we did.
Yep.
Mhm.
Oops.
Holy shit.
Wow. That's
I got
That's some
obliterated
shit,
in
bro.
that.
Yeah. And shortly thereafter, another vision will come, and you'll see Dalinar at the funeral of his brother, and he'll look down and just be burning for the drink, cursing Evie while simultaneously mourning her. Elokar will begin swearing the Vengeance Pact. And as Dalinar leaves to go and speak to Jasna, he'll be approached by Adolin, who, to his eyes, is looking so old. Last he had really seen him in a conscious state was nearly 4 years before. He was just a young man. Now he's full grown. He sends him back to swear the oath for the Vengeance Pact. Finds Jasna reading The Way of Kings, the book that Elokar was so obsessed with. And at that moment, that was when Dalinar knew that he needed to make a change. So, as an advanced scouting mission to explore the holdings of the Parshendi, he took about 500 of his men and ships and sailed down towards Thalen City, where there's a strait that empties right out towards the Shattered Plains. And on the way happens to be the Valley of the Night Mother, whereupon his ship diverts, and he goes in to speak to her. And you will watch as he trudges through the forests alone, and eventually finds her, a familiar figure to two of you, a long, spindly, almost predator-like trotting creature with a white porcelain woman's face. And as she asks what she could give him, spheres, a sword that bleeds black and could conquer the world, wealth, power, anything that he wanted. The only thing that Dalinar asks for, as you see tears begin to flow down his face for the first time ever, he asks for one thing: forgiveness. And you see the Night Mother twist at this, What can I do for you? As she offers him again wealth, money, love, anything. And again, Dalinar only asks for forgiveness. And as the Night Mother is about to rebuff him for a third time, you'll hear a much calmer voice as a woman as infinite as the ocean and as unassailable as a mountain steps out as the familiar form of cultivation takes in Dalinar. What do you seek, son of honor? Forgiveness is something that you must seek, you must surely look for in your own scripts. I asked my answer from the Ardents, and they said that the only solace I would find in death was more killing. I don't want any of that, I just want forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a interesting thing. You see, anything that I do to you will make you a better weapon for him. But I suppose many plants need a little pruning to grow. Yes. Here is my offer. As you see vines begin to tangle around Dalinar. I will take away your pain, all the memories of the rifts, and of your wife. And you will not be able to remember a single thing of her. That is the cost. But the true curse that shall come is that in time you will remember what you do when you do remember. That shall determine the fate of our world, Dalinar Kholin. As you see the vines entangle him and seem to take away whatever that little piece of him is, as he is eventually deposited back out to his soldiers. And he can't remember a single thing about Evie, not even her name. And he can't believe how weak he was to have to seek some pagan spren just because an assassin killed his wife. And with that, he set off towards the Shattered Plains. But before he did, he picked up another copy of The Way of Kings. And he read it, or rather had it read to him, again, and again, and again. Eventually, as the visions begin passing longer and longer and longer, a final one comes to you. And this will be the last one before the very end of this book. Dalinar started awake in an unfamiliar place, lying on a floor of cut stone. His back stiff. He blinked sleepily, trying to orient himself. Storms, where was he? Soft sunlight shone through an open balcony on the far side of the room, and ethereal motes of dust danced among the streams of light. What were those sounds? They didn't seem like voices of people. Well, no, they seemed like voices of people, but muffled. Dalinar stood and then fastened the side of his uniform jacket, which had come undone. It had been, 3 days since his return from Yakoved, his excommunication from the Vorn Church? Well, surely it must have been longer than that. He remembered those days in a haze of frustration, sorrow, and agony. And drink. A great deal of drink. He had been using the stupor to drive away the pain. A terrible bandage for his wound. Blood seeping out from all sides. But so far, it had kept him alive. I know this room, he realized, glancing at the mural on the ceiling. I saw it in one of my visions. A high storm must have come while he passed out. Stormfather, Stormfather, why did you send me this vision? We agreed they were too dangerous. Yes, he remembered this place well. It was the vision where he had met Noadon, the author of The Way of Kings. Why wasn't it paying attention as why wasn't playing out as it had before? He and Noadon had walked out to the balcony, talked for a time, and then the vision had ended. Dalinar arched towards the balcony, but Storm's that light was so intense it washed over him, making his eyes water, and he had to raise his hand to shield his eyes. He heard something behind him, scratching. He turned, putting his back to the brilliance, and spotted a door on the wall. It swung open easily behind his touch, and he stepped out of the loud sunlight to find himself in a circular room. He shut the door with a click. This chamber was much smaller than the previous one, on a wooden floor. Windows in the walls looked out towards a clear sky. A shadow passed over one of these, like something enormous moving in front of the sun. But how could the sun be pointed in this direction too? Dalinar looked over his shoulder at the wooden door. No light peeked underneath it. He frowned and reached for the handle, then paused, hearing that scratching once more. Turning, he saw a large desk, heaped with papers by the wall. How had he missed that earlier? A man sat at the desk, lit by a loose diamond, writing with a reed pen. Noadon had aged. In his previous vision, the king had been young, but now his hair was silver, his skin marked by wrinkles. It was the same man as before. Same face shape, same beard that came to a point. He wrote with a focused concentration. Dalinar stepped over. The Way of Kings, he whispered. I'm watching it be written. Actually, it's a shopping list. I'll be cooking shin loaf bread today. If I could get to the ingredients, that is. It always breaks people's brains. Grain was not meant to be so fluffy. What? Dalinar scratched the side of his head. Noadon finished with a flourish and tossed his pen down. He threw back his chair and stood, grinning like a fool. He grabbed Dalinar by the arms. Good to see you again, my friend. You've been having a hard time of late, haven't you? You have no idea, Dalinar whispered, wondering who Noadon saw him as. In previous visions, Dalinar had appeared as one of Noadon's advisors. They stood together on the balcony as Noadon contemplated a war to unite the world. A drastic retort intended to prepare mankind for the next desolation. Could that morose figure really have become this spry and eager? Where had this vision come from? Hadn't the Stormfather told Dalinar that he'd seen them all? Come, let's go down to the market. A little shopping should turn your mind from your trouble. Shopping? Yes, you shop, don't you? I usually have people do that for me. Ah, but of course you do. Very like you to miss a simple joy so you can get something more important. Well, come on. I'm the king, and you can't very well say no, can you? Noadon led Dalinar back through the door. The light was gone. They crossed the balcony, which last time had overlooked death and desolation. Now it looked out on a bustling city full of energetic people and rolling carts. The sound of the palace crashed into Dalinar, as if it had been suppressed until this moment. Laughing, chatting, calling, wagons creaking, choles bleeding. Men wore long skirts tied at the waist by girdles, some of which came all the way up to their stomachs. Above that, they had bare chests or wore simple overshirts. The outfits resembled the takama Dalinar had worn when younger, though a far, far older style. The tubular gowns on the women were even stranger, made of layered small rings of cloth with tassels at the bottom. They seemed to ripple easily as they moved. The women's arms were bare up to the shoulders, no safe hand covering. How scandalous. In previous visions, I spoke the dawn chant. Dalinar remembered the words that Navani's scholars that gave Navani's scholars a starting point in which to translate the ancient texts. How do we get down? Dalinar asked, seeing no ladder. Noadon left off the side of the balcony. He laughed, falling and sliding along a cloth banner tied between the tower window and tent below. Dalinar cursed, leaning forward, worried for the old man, until he spotted Noadon glowing. He was a surge binder. But Dalinar had known that from the last vision, hadn't he? Dalinar walked back to the writing chamber and drew the Stormlight from the diamond that Noadon had been using. He returned, then heaved himself off the balcony, aiming for the cloth Noadon had used to break his fall. Dalinar hit it at an angle and used it like a slide, keeping his right foot forward to guide his descent. Near the bottom, he flipped off the banister, grabbing the edge with 2 hands and hanging there for an instant before dropping with a thump besides the king. Noadon clapped. I thought for sure you wouldn't do it. I have practice following fools in their reckless pursuits. The old man grinned and then scanned his list. This way. Can't believe you're out shopping by yourself. No guards? I walked all the way to Uruthiru on my own. I think I can manage this. You didn't walk all the way to Uruthiru, Dalinar said. You walked to one of the Oath Gates and then took that to Uruthiru. Misconception, Noadon said. I walked the whole way, though I did require some help to reach Uruthiru's caverns. There's no more cheat than, but that's no more cheat than using a ferry to cross a river. He bustled through the market, and Dalinar followed, distracted by colorful clothing everyone was wearing. Even the stones of the building were painted in a vibrant color. He'd always imagined the past as dull. Statues from ancient times were weathered, and he never considered that they may have been painted so brightly. What of Noadon himself? In both visions, Dalinar had been shown someone he did not expect. The young Noadon considering war, now the elderly one, glib and whimsical. Where was the deep-thinking philosopher who wrote The Way of Kings? Remember, Dalinar told himself, this isn't really him. The person I'm talking to is a construct of the vision. Though some people in the market recognized their king, his passing didn't cause much of a stir. Dalinar spun as he saw something move between the buildings, a large shadow that passed between the 2 structures, tall and enormous. He stared in that direction, but didn't see it again. They entered a tent where the merchant was selling exotic grains. The men bustled over and hugged Noadon in the way that should have been improper for a king. Then the 2 started haggling like scribes. The rings on the merchant's fingers flashed as he gestured at his wares. Dalinar lingered near the side of the tent, taking in the sense of the grain sacks outside. Outside, something made a distant thud, and then another. The ground shook, but nobody reacted. Know it, Your Majesty? Dalinar asked. Noadon ignored him. The shadow passed over the tent. Dalinar ducked, judging the form of the shadow and the sounds of the crashing footfalls. Your Majesty, he shouted, fear sprin growing up around him. We're in danger. The shadow passed. The footfalls grew distant. Deal, Noadon said to the merchant. And well argued, you swindler. Make sure you buy Lonnie something nice with the extra spheres you got out of me. The merchant bellowed a laughing reply. You think you got the worst of that? Storms, Your Majesty. You argue like my grandmother when she wants the last spoonful of jam. Did you see that shadow? Dalinar asked to Noadon. Have I told you where I learned to make shin loaf bread? It wasn't shin, if that's what you were going to reply. Dalinar looked in the direction that the enormous shadow had gone. No, you haven't told me. It was at war. In the West, one of those senseless battles in the years following the desolation. I don't even remember what caused it. Someone invaded someone else, and that threatened our trade through Makabam, so we went off west. Well, I ended up with a scouting group on the edge of the Shen border, so you see, I tricked you just now. I said it wasn't Shen, and it wasn't, but I was right next to it. My troops occupied a small village in one of the passes, and the matron who cooked for us accepted my military occupation without complaint. She didn't seem to care which army was in charge. She made me bread every day, and I liked it so much she asked if I wanted to learn. He trailed off. In front of him, the merchant set weighs on one side of the large scale, representing the amount Noadon had purchased, then started pouring grain into a bowl on the other side of the scale. Golden and captivating grain, in the light of captured flames. What happened to the cookwoman? Something very unfair. It's not a happy story, considering I considered putting it into the book, but decided my story would be best to limit it to my walk to Uruthiru. He fell silent and contemplative. It reminds me of Taravengian, Dalinar suddenly thought. How odd. You're having trouble, my friend. Your life, like that of the woman, is unfair. Being a ruler is a burden, not merely a privilege, Dalinar said. You taught me that, but storms, Noadon, I can't see a way out. I've gathered the monarchs, yet the drums of war beat in my ear, demanding that every step I make with my allies seems to take weeks of deliberation. The truth whispers in the back of my mind. I could best defend the world if I could simply make the others do as they should. So why don't you? You didn't. I tried, and I failed. That led me to a different path. You are wise and thoughtful. I'm a warmonger, Noadon. I've never accomplished anything without bloodshed. He heard them again, the tears of the dead, Evie, the children, flames burning a city. He heard the fire roar and the delight at the feast. The merchant ignored them, busy trying to get the grain to balance. The weighted side was still heavier. Noadon set a finger in the bowl and with the grain and pushed it down, making the sides even. That'll do, my friend. But give the excess to the children, please. After all that haggling, you know I'd have donated some if you asked. And missed the fun of negotiating? Noadon said. He borrowed the merchant's pen and crossed the items off the list. They're satisfactory, he said to Dalinar. In creating a list of things you could actually accomplish, then removing them one at a time. As I said, a simple joy. Unfortunately, I am needed for bigger things than shopping. Isn't that always the problem? Tell me, my friend, you talk about your burdens and difficulties of decisions. What is the cost of a principle? The cost? There shouldn't be a cost to being principled. Oh? And what if making the right decision created a Spren who instantly blessed you with wealth, prosperity, and unending happiness? What then? Would you still have principles? Isn't a principle about what you give up, not what you gain? So it's all negative? Are you implying that nobody should have principles because there's no benefit to them? Hardly. But maybe you shouldn't be looking for life to be easier because you chose to do something that's right. Personally, I think life is fair. It's merely that often you can't immediately see what balances it. He wagged his finger he used to tip the merchant's scales. If you'll forget a somewhat blatant metaphor, I've grown fond of them. You might say I wrote an entire book of them. This is so different from the other visions. What's going on? The thumping from before returned. Dalinar spun, then charged out of the tent, determined to get a look at the thing. He saw, above the buildings, a large stone creature with an angular face and red spots growing deep inside its rocky skull. Storms, he had no weapon. Noadon stepped from the tent, holding the bag of grain. He looked up and smiled. The creature leaned down, then offered a large skeletal hand. Noadon touched it with his own. The creature stilled. This is quite the nightmare you've created, Noadon said. What does this thunderclast represent, I wonder? Pain, Dalinar said, backing away from the monster. Here's burdens. I'm a lion, Noadon, a hypocrite. Sometimes a hypocrite is nothing more than a man who's in the process of changing. Wait, hadn't Dalinar said that back when he felt stronger, more certain? Other thumps sounded around the city, hundreds of them, creatures approaching from all sides, shadows in the sun. All things exist in three realms, Dalinar, Noadon said. The physical, what you are now. The cognitive, what you see yourself as being. The spiritual, the perfect you, person beyond pain, and error, and uncertainty. Monsters of stone horror surrounded them, heads cresting roofs, foot crushing building. You've said the oaths, but do you understand the journey? Do you understand what it requires? You've forgotten one essential part, one thing that without which there can be no journey. The monster slammed fists toward Dalinar, and he shouted, What is the most important step a man can take? Dalinar awoke, huddled in his bed in Urithiru, asleep in his clothing again. A mostly empty bottle of wine rested on the table. There was no storm. It hadn't been a vision. He buried his face in his hands, trembling. Something bloomed inside of him. Recollection. Not really a new memory, not one he'd completely forgotten, but suddenly became as crisp as if he had experienced it yesterday, the night of Gavilar's funeral. With that, Urithiru folks, Dalinar goes back to attending the meetings of the monarchs, and as you begin to attend with them, you will see them begin to set up battle plans. Initially, the concentration of the forces were meant to go along this bordered peak just south of the Horn-Eater Peaks. It's kind of a blank piece of land, but it's extremely strategically important for the defense of Yakoved and Azir further, especially from Alethkar. It basically mires them in months upon months of various different attempted siege warfare tactics, which would stall them out for a long time. It's eventually realized that that would be extremely disadvantageous against Odium and the Parshendi forces, since the longer time that the Knights Radiant are given to be able to train and get more members, the worse the war is going to go for them. So they had to figure out a better target, one that had no navy to speak of, an Oathgate, and it just generally weakened state of being, namely Thaylen City. At which point, the group of monarchs begins to teleport their way over to Thaylen City and have themselves a powwow about the defense. Azir starts pulling over their best naval captains, as well as some of their siege soldiers. The Phalans begin garrisoning what they can, and Amaram / the Sadius soldiers are already here, so they will be making up the front lines of the conflict to come. Meanwhile, Taravangian and the Yakoved armies proceed to slowly begin making their transit down. It is presumed that the attack will most likely come at the next coming of the Everstorm, so about 9 days. As you guys are having a meeting one day, you'll suddenly look out, and it's a very united coalition. Everybody's getting along. In fact, there's a few political marriages that might be going on between Makabaki princesses and one of the high princes. All sorts of good shit going on. And you see Dalinar proud. He hasn't even touched the bottle in a couple days now. And then suddenly, each of you will feel a tingle up your spine as there are, for all intents and purposes, the same message coming from each of your spread. A storm's coming. And as the meeting of monarchs takes a brief break, you'll see every single span reed in this entire hall light up.
Uh-oh.
Quickly finding them, putting their pen to page. All of them will begin moving practically at the same time. The one that Dalinar received, quite simple. Or actually, no, sorry. One of the Azish viziers from across the way will begin reading out hers. It appears that a Everstorm has hit Shinovar, which is about 5 days too early, which means that it will be here very, very soon. This seems manageable. Doesn't seem too bad. All of you kind of take a moment to sigh in relief. And then all of your spread nearly at the same time will say the same thing. That wasn't it.
Oh.
As you look over to Jasna and Navani, who are reading out their span read, Dalinar and you will clump around as a very specific passage. Um,
Archie's so funny.
yes, he is very attention disturbed. Look at it.
It's like he knows. Just like he knows.
Oh yeah.
He's like, they can all see me.
Archie.
Archie, 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 Archie.
Here we go. As Jasna begins reading it out loud, Uncle, the piece historians have been most eager to translate is called Elias Steel. Other sources claim it's old, perhaps the oldest document written in history. Said to be scribed by the heralds themselves. From the translations that finally came in today, the carvings appear to be the account of someone who witnessed the very first coming of Voidbringers, long, long ago, even before the first desolation. Blood of my fathers, Nalinar said. And we could read it? You see her nod. They came from another world, using powers that we are forbidden to touch, dangerous powers of Sprin and Surges. They destroyed their lands and have come to us begging. We took them in, as commanded by the gods. What else could we do? They were a people forlorn, without home. Our pity destroyed us, for their betrayal extended to even our gods, to Sprin, Stone, and Wind. Beware the other worlders. They are traitors, those with tongues of sweetness, but minds that lust for blood. Do not take them in, do not give them succor. Well named were they Voidbringers, for they brought the void, the
Is that
empty
us?
pit that sucks in emotion, a new god, their god. These Voidbringers know no songs, they cannot hear Roshar, and where they go, they bring silence. They look soft, with no shell, but they are hard. They have but one heart, and it cannot ever live.
Is that our first campaign characters?
Not
Yes.
quite, but similar.
Okay. I was like,
Uh,
that sounds oddly familiar. Minus
does sound
the
oddly
After Effects
familiar.
stuff.
It it's more closely related to how Unitum was occupied the first time. Humans having refuge, or needing refuge and escaping to another world, where they promptly took over and subjugated the people who were occupying them first.
Wow.
So yeah, it's at this point that you'll hear Taravangian kind of say loudly to the entire coalition, I feel that we must discuss what immediately came up. You see Downer step forward. Yes, I'm in agreement, but I don't know if now is the right time. I must think about what the implications of this are. And those implications, namely to everybody, is that you are not righteous people defending your own land. You are invaders who are trying to re-subjugate the people who were originally there.
Wow.
So yeah. Also, evidently the surges destroyed your own home the first time, which is fun. As
So
this
fun.
is said out loud, you'll see Queen Fen step forward of the Thalens. I do not feel that this is something that we can simply ignore. There is some very important information that was revealed here. As you see Dalinar kind of look at her. What are you all referencing? The translation of the Dawn Chant. Oh, Well, I don't know anything about stuffy old scholars and what they have to say. I care about this High King nonsense. What is this that you had your nephew swearing to you as High King, Emperor? It was an internal Alethi matter. Has nothing to do with any of you. It was simply for our political structure. That doesn't sound like an internal matter when you are making other monarchs swear to you their fealty. As this starts to happen, you'll see the Azish coalition come up with another moment. And what of these reports that we are receiving that you have met and cavorted with the enemy known as Odium twice in these visions of yours without revealing them to us? At that moment, you'll see Dalinar kind of standing agape. Is it true? Yes, it is true. As you see Jasna step forward. This is clearly some sort of organized attack on my uncle's character. We do not know what is happening. Let us take a moment and start. It is a organized attack with the truth. I fear, as you see the entire room burst into argument as various different people begin arguing different points of view, as what is a triple whammy hits Dalinar.
Like somebody punched him?
No. Just
Oh.
3 pretty damning pieces of info hitting all at once. As you'll see, Dalinar kind of slump down into his chair as the argument continues for a very long time, and anything that Dalinar seems to attempt to offer to counteract this is just seems to make things worse. He eventually retires to the area just outside of the temple and looks out at the destroyed fields of Thalen City. As shortly thereafter, the monarchs will begin leaving. We're still at war, you know. We need this coalition if we're to survive, he shouts at the viziers. One of the oldest and most experienced stays behind. Unfortunately, it is clear to us now that these powers are exceedingly dangerous. They destroyed our last world, and for all we know, you may be in the grips of this Odium who has visited you twice. We will reconvene with our ships and wait out the storm, and after that we will make our decision. Good day. As you see her step away. You'll see Taravangian step out next. I'm sorry, dear friend, but I don't have constitution to fight a war against people who are just trying to get back their homeland. I too must leave, as he pats his shoulder and begins taking his ships back as well. Finally, Queen Fen, the last of the monarchs, steps out. And are you to leave me too? Leave you? I need your troops to defend my city, Blackthorn. Though I may, and after this, it's tough to say. See Dalinar sigh, but nod. Not too long after, as you all get a long rest for the night, the Everstorm comes. And with it, the next morning, as you step out, you will look upon a field and see ship after ship after ship after ship have already landed upon the shores as thousands of Parshmen begin making their way out. Immediately, you will see Amaram's troops begin to advance and attempt to head off the landing. The Alethi are known for their field infantry, so siege is not exactly their specialty. So they're fighting them where they have the advantage. On the other side of the world, in a different plane entirely, Lol, Luis, as you each look upon this field just filled with enemies and this strange red roiling spren and these 6 fused, you'll watch as they each disappear in turn, seemingly being transported to whatever the other side is. And before you are 6 fused, still on the bridge. And that's it. What's the plan? While you think of it, on the other side, those of you in Thalen City look out, and you see this red roiling mist that appears to have so many different forms to it. Roll an Arcana check.
Big numbers.
Huge numbers. Varixia,
Yikes.
you're the only one who even gets the vibe of this. But that's
What about Garrick?
Oh, good point. He might actually get a pretty strong vibe on this one. Oh yeah, Garrick recognizes this as this is the thrill. Not only is it the thrill, this is an unmade. Secondarily, you'll see all of these red spren that almost crackle like lightning appear, and they plunge themselves into the hearts of all of Sadius's men,
Oh boy.
bonding them.
Happy?
and
Should we be
turning
scared?
Turning
Yeah.
them over
Super scared.
to the enemy's side. And as you begin to rally with the garrison upon the walls, you'll see this shadowy spren duck under and through as from the stone this monumentous thunderclast begins yanking itself out. You guys haven't seen them in this campaign, but you did see them in the first campaign.
Oh, shit.
Defending Razel's temple. As these 3 to 4 story, this one
Oh, no.
massive 3 to 4 story thunderclast made of stone with a very sharp face and these little red eyes pulls from the stone, grabs the gemstone depository, and flings it back towards Odium's army as the field scatters with gemstones and spheres all over the place.
Oh my.
Alrighty. Now, folks in Shadesmar, what's your guys' plan? There are 6 fused between you and that there Oathgate platform, at which point Shallan presumably needs to try to find a way to get your asses to the other side.
Yeah, nobody has teleportation, do they? Man, I wish Raphael was here.
Well, and
Dead
how-
AF.
we have like what, 2 charges of Stormlight each?
So in total, currently you have about 37. Shallan will need she'll need her 10 to get to the other side. Kaladin could probably distract like 4 of these guys, but he would need about his 10 as well. Lul used his 3 last session with a beam, so he has 7 left. And then Luis, you have 10 left.
Lol, do you think you have anything that could take out multiple at a time? I could try and bring up a Mirage army, but without our shard blades here, I'm not too sure.
Well, I definitely have some things that can do some damage, but I don't know if I can take them out by myself.
You guys do have your harpoons and sword.
Those things look scary.
Those ones are just the gate sprint.
Are they just hanging out?
They're just chilling.
I'm
Okay.
just trying to.
Well, that makes me
So,
feel better.
Am I still allowed to overclock any of my new spells?
Use more Stormlight than normal in them.
Oh, so it's not like the other thing where I could do the like ritual thing where I had those two like overclock things. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, do you mean? Sorry. What do you mean by that?
So like how I was summoning my army before was I was putting in my two like packed things.
Yeah. So this one's just became an actual spell. I think that I just couldn't fit in the actual conversion, but it's Mirage Army plus like illusion, soulcast illusion. I think it is, but
Yeah.
it defines the confines for.
Well, I was just thinking about like would I be able to do something similar on the Soulcast Flames that I was doing before, like essentially.
Like, what are you trying to accomplish?
Basically make a gigantic, huge fireball that would consume most of them because it's already a 20-foot radius sphere. And so I was thinking if I was to put my two packed things in it, what would the Soulcast Flames end up looking like?
Before he does that, I
Mhm.
think that you should probably save your Stormlight for now. Because if we're trying to just fuck them up, I kind of got like something that we can do here.
Okay.
But
well, I mean, I
yeah,
still
they're
would
standing
like
on
to
a
know
bridge.
this for future reference.
So, sorry, I'm just a little confused by exactly what you're trying to do to the Soulcast Fire. What are you trying to accomplish?
Essentially, put the same kind of packed magic I was using before into my Mirage army, or did we change how that works? Like in order to summon my army that I was doing before you gave me the new spells, could I do that with Soulcast Flames? I just want some clarification on this.
So, do you want the Mirage Army to turn into flames instead of be physical?
I don't know how to explain this mechanic. Before we were able to put like our pack, we had like two available that we could put in our pack to basically boost spells.
Yeah, your two surges. So your two surges are illusion and soul casting, basically. So yes, you can combine them, but I don't know the effect you're trying to accomplish.
A gigantic, huge fucking fireball.
Like having all your mirages make a fireball. Is that what you're saying?
I can just make a fireball as is.
Yeah. So like you could spend more Stormlight to accomplish a larger effect on it.
It's just extra Stormlight.
Yeah, it's just extra Stormlight. Yeah. So because it's for all intents and purposes, you're just making a bigger soul cast.
Okay. All right. That was
like
my
amplify.
Yeah.
Are they all standing close to each other?
Relatively. So there's two on the bridge. There's two that are kind of floating around on the outside, and then there's two that are on the Oathgate platform itself.
So not within like a 20-foot radius.
No, not of each other. So they're kind of paired off in general. So like, if you were trying to get a limited effect, you could definitely get one. Like you could get a pair together. Okay. And
well then, Luis, I'm gonna take the pair on the bridge. I think Kaladin should take one of them, and then you take the other. And after I say this, I'm gonna start drawing that symbol that I found.
Mm-hmm. There are two more, by the way. Here, let me.
Is there two for me, two for Luis, and two for Kaladin?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Shit's about to get real.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start drawing the symbol that I found.
Okay.
And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna cast a Desolation Field.
Okay.
So let's see here. They have to roll a con save at the start of each turn.
Remind me what the direct effects are.
Let's see.
Or you
On a
can just
failed
click
save.
cast, yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Display VTT.
You said, point your thing. Let's make a con save. On a failed save. Okay, cool. Sweet. So that puts you down to 2 Stormlight levels. The first one fails. Second one fails too. Jesus. Okay, roll damage.
So 8d8 4 times.
No, just flat damage. So 8d8 and then 8d8.
Oh, okay. For both of them, they'll roll
Yeah.
the same. I see. Okay. 8d8. It's not there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sick. Jesus. Yeah. Now the two motherfuckers that go ahead and get caught in that seem immediately pretty fucked up. You do see their void light starting to kind of heal some of the areas around them. But that hurt. That hurt. All right. Can I get everybody to roll initiative, please?
Us too,
Sure. Why not?
for fun.
Yeah. No, not for fun. This will be it.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Oh, 22 bitches. If this was a normal dice, you guys would have been like, that's cocked.
Cocked.
Because it was like stuck on the side sideways.
Hyper cacked. Let me tell you.
Hyper cacked.
Okay. Let's see. Where are you hiding now? My sweet. There you are.
I'm awesome.
Okay. So this is the Stalin City. There's a.
Oh, did you forget about the dogs from my wild magic thing?
I probably did. What are they doing?
All right, I forgot about it too. Oh, hold on. Garrick's gonna have to explain it to me. I'll come back to me.
Did you use magic again?
It was last session, but that was 2 weeks ago, and I fucking have a horrible memory.
Yeah.
So-
no, that's fucking.
2 seconds. I'm sure I'll get an explanation here. So you just do you.
Okay.
Next city we visit is overrun by dogs. Wild magic from like 6 sessions ago.
Okay.
I did forget about that.
Let me tell you, there are so many axe hands around this place. It is weird. However, strangely enough, seems like the least of your fucking problems at the moment.
Yeah, he's like, I never forget that silly shit. Where'd they all come from?
What the dog doing?
Okay. And then to start out with, you guys will see a secondary thunderclast rip itself from the ground and
Oh my
puncture a
goodness.
giant ass hole in the wall there.
What on
Shit.
earth? What did we do?
Oh my god.
Pretty fucked. And
I'm just trying to exist.
your last real bad piece of info is as you look down, you'll see a very shiny golden motherfucker approaching from the beachhead.
Garrick says, everybody touch the bracelet.
Yes, this is the time where we leave.
Yeah.
He
I
said,
say we get the
screw it,
fuck out
this
of here."
dimension sucks. Let's find a new one. Sorry.
Anyways,
I fully concur.
okay. This golden figure simultaneously super familiar and not at all, as you recognize that as the shining figure of Mr. Odium.
Mr. Odium.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, God
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
kind of
I
frightens
was
Sator.
hoping I misheard you.
No. And you'll see another figure walking up to that figure in gleaming shard plate and with a very familiar shard blade of Oathbringer, and that being Amaram, who then proceeds to be handed what appears to be a large crystal of some kind that he swallows. And you'll see the eyes underneath the armor begin to glow red in a familiar way that, goddammit, none of you guys know. It is
Black
the
Betty,
same-
Amaram.
Yeah, it's the same as the queen in Kolinar, as something is happening to Mr. Amaram, and he is very clearly not on your guys' side anymore.
How fun.
You're
Last
so
things
fucked.
last. Perception check.
You're so fucked.
From us?
Can we go to wherever those other guys are at?
Damn, another nat 20.
Nice. Pelinar. A lot of things going on.
Wait. I gotta do March 2.
Yes.
distracted.
Pelinar, lift. A lot of things going on. Lift. First things first. You see Dalinar stepping his merry ass out in between this giant crack in the wall with nothing but a book in his hand. And he appears to be walking straight towards Odium. For some reason, something is just wildly compelling you, and you're like, I got to go in that direction.
Going.
On the other side,
Hit the doom
Pelinar.
music, boys.
Pelinar,
from Garrett.
you are noticing a bunch of different things. Number one, Jasna, she is running towards the Oathgate platform. Seems really important. Somebody should probably go with her. Number two, there are a lot of fucking glowing blue motherfuckers, like, surrounding this city in a halo. And damn, they do not feel like wind runners.
Awesome.
They don't feel like fused either. And with your natural 20, you see two figures in particular. One very, very dark skin with these white scars kind of all across his face, and a very, very dark uniform. Roll a religion check.
Shit just got real lift.
Ooh.
You managed to get
Sorry,
double
sorry
digits.
for friend napping
done.
you.
Throw me into a war. Okay.
That motherfucker looks a lot like Nail, the herald,
Girl.
the herald of law, and the herald of the Skybreakers. The Knights Radiant that share the surge of oh god, there's one that makes you fly.
The one that makes you fly.
Yeah, so they're the ones that lie between decay and gravitation. Roll an intelligence check. Just
Oh,
because.
great.
Let's see if you can manage to get above a 10. If you get above a 10, I'll give it to you.
You're making me roll almost all my negative ones.
I know. It's great.
That's why he gave you a 10. Ish.
Hey!
Yeah.
This might be concerning. The Skybreakers are exceedingly adherent to laws, namely, like, the natural law of the land.
Fight me, bitch.
And considering the fact that it was just revealed that you guys are invaders to this land, and they're the ones who are the rightful owners of it, they might not be on your side.
We're in trouble.
Number two, with your natural 20 perception, right next to that figure, you see a figure all in white with a very shaved head.
What?
Who was presumed to be very dead.
Is it me in real life?
No.
Oh.
Oh shit.
That is
So
the
your other-
assassin in white, Seth Son Villano, that presumed was dead after fighting Kaladin.
I am
What the
Zan's
fuck?
son Villano.
It actually died though.
Damn.
Get off our lawn. It's ours. We call dibs.
Yeah. Seems as if
God, you're
a
so
herald
funny, Marshall.
per se may have found Seth and brought him back.
Mm.
Number 3, you'll see Navani chasing after what appears to be a larger section of collapsed wall where Queen Fen and her consort were. And the last thing that you notice is that there are these figures who look like they're ice skating, despite the fact that you've never seen anybody ice skate. They are fused, and they appear to be skating off towards Odium with this massive red ruby that is really familiar.
Oh,
Namely
God.
because it's tattooed onto the back of your friend.
No.
As the
That's
kings
mine.
drop the most expensive and largest ruby in the world.
I hope
is
my
being
friend died.
taken away.
I hope that died. I hope he died.
No.
He didn't die? They didn't kill his
no.
ass for that ruby? Oh, come on. Come on, son.
We're gonna figure that out.
I hope he's
Um,
dead. Brutally.
So yeah, that's the situation.
Better make sure to tell Navani to stay away from any fire. We don't want
You
to.
sure that's not a nightmare? It just doesn't sound like a situation. It just sounds like a nightmare.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
So,
It is pretty fucked.
Lift is going towards Dalinar. Who's going where else? We have Jasna, we have Skybreakers, we have Navani.
you said somebody needed to follow this, what lady? The steam lady?
Yeah,
Remember
the important lady, the one who he has as his new wife. Maybe like
Navani, yeah.
yeah, get her away from any fire or wooden entryways. We don't really want that repeating itself.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. So who's going after what?
Oh, fuck me.
Yeah, I'm thinking of going after Yes now. What about anyone else?
Pelinar, you're going after Yasna.
Go a certain area.
Yeah.
God
Lift
said
is
so.
Lift is going after Dalinar.
And then I'm going after shit. What are the other two? There's a few options now.
Yeah, there's Skybreakers, Navani. Yeah, those are the two big ones left.
And you specifically said somebody should go with Navani.
Sure.
I'm just saying, if this stays close to the already traumatic backstory, it would be a viable option.
But those guys in the halo up in the sky aren't seeming too great either.
Go
Yeah.
after them then.
They're chilling for
Drama
now,
makes
but
characters much more interesting, right? Let's just hope Dalinar doesn't
Appy, where do you feel like we're most needed? It's group effort.
two options. We could either try to deal with the Thunderclasts. They're stone. We could manipulate stone. Or Navani is a good option. Try to protect Dalinar's wife.
Could we? Is Navani about to go do something important, or
She is just running towards where Queen Fen is. Don't know anything else about
why
that.
would she do that? Oh no. That's a bummer. Okay. Oh, fudge monkeys.
just roll a
Yep.
d4.
I was gonna roll a d20 above 10. I'm gonna go to the storm guys. Below 10, I'm going with Navani. Storms.
Okay. Are you going after the Thunderclast or the guys in the Halo?
The Thunderclaps, the ones that we can manipulate.
Okay. You start heading after. Which one do you want? You want the one in the wall or the one in the city?
Probably whichever one I'm closest to.
At the moment, city.
Okay.
Maria.
Get into the city. Pelinar, you're flying towards the Oathgate platform.
Can we like holler at guards or something to go with Navani? Can we like?
Yeah. No, you start directing whoever you can and isn't currently freaking the fuck out because there's a 100-foot tall Thunderclast breaking through the city.
And where's
And they
Dalinar
start
right
moving
now?
over. Dalinar is heading straight out towards Mr. Odium. He stepped through the broken wall with a book.
I'll read
and is
him a
walking out.
bedtime
Did he at least see his wife run off?
Probably not.
All right, Lift, you need to relay those messages.
This man's gonna read him a bedtime story. I will do the best I can.
So yeah, okay,
I'm assuming he has the Way of Kings in his hand, right?
correct. That would be a good assumption. But yeah, okay, cool. The stage is set for the end of Oathbringer after presumably next session or the session after. Done.
Nice.
Alrighty.
On to Rhythm of War after that. And I will be listening to fucking Wind and Truth, which will be the last book for like 8 years in the series tomorrow.
Didn't they just release that at Barnes like a month ago?
I don't know when they released the hardcover or like the actual book, but they're releasing.
Oh yeah,
that
where are we
tomorrow.
sending Garrick?
That's a good
Oh
question.
yeah.
He said he wants the
point.
hardest of the tasks.
Hardest of the tasks?
It's in my pants.
We know.
I mean, could probably go after the Thunderclast. Thunderclast would probably be the hardest, outside of Suicide Rushing Odium.
I think I'm going to the Thunderclasp, right?
Yeah, I mean, 2 people could fuck around with the Thunderclass. Is a real big fucking monster.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Sounds. Wait.
cool.
Yes to which one? I will fight. That's what he says. I will fight.
Okay. Easy.
For
I will
honor.
win.
You'll win. Okay.
Pretty confident.
Okay. So stage is set. The people in Shadesmar are going to need to get through a couple of fused, not die, and somehow convince the Oathspren to let them across. The rest of y'all have just a whole laundry list of issues. So
More.
We got this. Maybe not. We'll see. But your boy is tired.
good night, buddy. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Alrighty.
Good night.
Bye. Ugh.
Dude,
boy.
I got such a freaking bad migraine like
Aw.
20 minutes ago. I was
Aw.
joking about getting a migraine from
Thank God.
stupidity, but then it actually happened and I was like, oh my god, it hurts.
Fuck. Yeah, I'm sorry.
It wasn't stupidity, it was probably Archie. He was stressing me
What you
out.
made? Look what you made happen, Brandon.
I
I
know,
know.
right? This is what happens when you kidnap children, you know?
Yeah.
It just happens.
That's
Trust me, if there's
Can't
one person
control it.
here who gets migraines, it's fucking me. Christ.
Dude, it's like fucking pounding. It
Yeah.
might also be like the bright ass lights on his laptop. So
Yeah.
Probably doesn't help.
I'm used to reading a tiny little screen on my Kindle and
Yeah.
having it on dark mode. So, dude, I burned through like 4 books already this week, and I'm just like, I need to cool it down.
Well, the good news is that's the last of like the reading that I will be doing for at least the next book. I don't know about the 5th book, but purely because Dalinar's backstory is really, really important to know.
guy's a monster.
Yeah, quite literally. Oh,
And
God.
I'm just impressed that they got all of that to show up to fight us.
Yeah. Army
It's a
of
lot.
Parshmen. They
There had to be a lot of convincing. There's some deals that went behind doors here that we don't know about.
Probably.
Odium has one power in particular that is above all else. You remember what defines a god in my universe, guys?
It can destroy or create worlds or something. I don't
The
remember.
power to play music.
They can see into the future
They can
a
see into the
significant
future.
amount.
Oh, see,
Hmm.
he knew it.
He knew it. Good.
Marshall knew it.
Marsh boy. Yeah.
It's
So-
future. That's what he said.
It's future. Goddamn right. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
sight.
Marshall-
Sight. He meant to say sight. Future sight.
One Piece. I get it now.
Well,
Get it.
fuck.
If Marsh is talking to you right now, is there certain
He can-
tabs I should close out before I shut his computer off?
I think it'd be good.
Or I can just
No,
click the red X?
it'll close all the tabs when you shut it down. and then
Should
it'll
I
let him
hit the
refresh.
power button that's on his fan box thing down
My head
here?
out as well.
Magic.
Hey, y'all.
Said
Nice.
nah. He said nah. Just close it down. So you'll just hit that little button on the bottom of the screen. Probably looks like
Okay.
4 little windows,
Peace out, guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
and then just hit power off or shut down.
Okay. I hope I don't break his computer. He will
won't.
actually.
It won't.
I don't
And
think
then
you're
it'll
delivering
ask
a type
you.
pizza.
It'll pop up saying, "Do you want to do this? You have shit open," and you just say yes.
That doesn't sound very safe. I feel like you should probably close all this stuff up.
No, it's fine. It just closes it automatically.
It's just a reminder, like, oh, if you haven't saved your shit,
You have a 10,000 word document that you haven't saved yet.
Don't even. Don't even. Oh,
I
I
know.
was so mad
what
when I
he's
was still
saying,
writing
he's-
stuff.
he said,
And it
"Don't
was on
touch."
mute box.
He
So
said,
it
"Don't
said it
touch
would
the power button."
automatically
Don't touch the
It's not
power button.
automatically I was pissed. I was so bad.
But
I
nope,
was
you're
like,
safe to
"That
just shut
was
it down.
easily 45 pages.
Yeah.
And I had a really good dialogue going on.
God
I even italicized on some of the parts there for it, you know, when they
Yeah.
say something with a sassy tone of voice.
Oh yeah.
All of it deleted.
Yeah.
I was like,
So
why
painful.
bother? It's Google Docs. It says it auto saves. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the worst. The cloud saves never work.
Mm,
Nope.
okay.
But-
Well, we get to fight in war next time. How fun.
Oh yes. Big
I was
battle.
waiting
Welcome
for
to the
Mark
group.
to chime in with the "This is America," and he didn't, and I was very sad. And then I realized, oh yeah, he's at work.
Oh wait.
Yeah, he
Because
says
it's
he's
this
got to
whole
get his
thing,
booty moving.
everything's on fire, and I was like, this is the